everybody to Nutty Buddy Enter. Today we have another live stream going to do today as we are going to talk about some of the news of the week. Me and Brian have been trying to last Sunday, and my schedule messed up. So about some of the stuff that we missed last week and some of the news we heard this week. So Brian,
how's it going, man?
good. How are you doing?
Not too busy, or not too bad. Busy week, so glad to finally get to the end of it.
Yeah. Now, so we DC. We're going to talk about Marvel, Star Wars. We're going to talk about all of it of our program at the end. We're going to phase 4 and 5 projects. 4. Looking forward to. So hopefully you can stay in the DC. That's where we're going to start because there was a week that Batgirl got canceled news, but then we're also going to talk about the fact that they have. So let's start with that, Brian. Brian, how do you Batgirl? The fact it was canceled, even then, is what they said. What are your thoughts on Batgirl or DC?
Honestly, I forgot. I really didn't remember that there was going to be a Batgirl movie, so I don't know. I'm here nor there, especially after getting the Batman. I'm okay with them canceling it. I think it's ridiculous, though. You spend $90 million on a film, and it's not going to see the light of day at all. So in that way, it's kind of ridiculous. But, I mean, I like to see that they're keeping it at some sort of standards that they want to make the movies. Because for a long time, I feel like DC is just like, let's just put it out there to put it out there. You know, Batman versus Superman is a good example of that.
I just think that there's, two schools. Like, the people that really worked hard on, they're not going to see their project fulfilled or whatever time if their movie is that bad. It's going to save them from even future jobs, because if it's that bad, who knows, if get hired again.
Yeah, I know a couple of the director and the actor who played Batgirl had spoken out on it, and they seem to be pretty positive. But I mean, that's got to be just heart-wrenching to put time and effort into something and it's just not going to see the light of day. Yeah.
That's got to be tough. Did you read any of the plot or anything behind, maybe about?
No, I just know that guy who plays Spider-Man news guy was supposed to reprise a role as Gordon, which he was in what movie again?
Okay.
Was it the Batman movie? I can't remember his name right now. He's got the
J.K.
Yes. He played Gordon in the Batman movie, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was supposed to reprise his role, and then Keaton was supposed to also be in it, but that's the extent. I didn't really hear anything about the storyline or anything like that. Like I said, I didn't even realize this was coming out. And then seeing some stills and stuff from it, it almost looked like it was CW, kind of like Batgirl-ish, just with the suit and everything. So once again, I'm not hating that they're canning it. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, again, that said, a part of the reason why is because they're resetting it. Sounds so if they're resetting, they talk about that. Let me ask you this question, Brian. And I wrote a very clever question: is them writing the ship, or is it the decks on the Titanic?
I don't know. Well, wasn't DC or Warner Brothers like bought out, right? And the guy who bought it is trying to like clear like what is it like 3 billion or no like $30 billion worth of debt or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
sounded like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, maybe they're trying to right the ship a little bit, but also at the same times they're just cleaning up the mess. And yeah, unfortunately for this movie, it just got caught in the middle of it. What's blowing my mind even more is that they're still releasing the Flash with all the drama that's going around the dude.
I'm not sure what I don't know what they're doing and what he's been accused of. Why
Hmm.
that one is the movie is more positive, like they're getting more of a positive. Could it be that instead, because it sounded like why they canceled Batgirl is the the watched it, the test group did not like.
Okay. Yeah, I think because it's opening up the multiverse for it, and maybe because more people like this one, that might be why. But I just don't foresee anything good coming out of that guy. Still being the Flash. Obviously they're opening up the multiverse, so maybe they'll switch him out with someone else and do that. But yeah, and then we've got Aquaman that's still coming out next year. But it seems like they want to, a fresh start with all this stuff. I'm just surprised that they're not canning all of the DC heroes that they have right now.
And just like starting fresh,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, still use them, but, just starting fresh storylines or something. So, but also it might be that there's too much money put into the Flash at this point. Like, it's taken how many years for it to get to this point to be released. So I think it's like too much money into it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Did you hear that there's a rumor he's supposed to make an appearance as Batman?
Michael Keaton?
No, no, no. In Aquaman.
Oh, really?
He's supposed,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
So
did
that's
not hear
the
that.
right now that he's supposed to be in there because he took place in Momoa, I think, on the set of Aquaman. So
Gotcha.
that's even more confusing because you kind of have now Affleck coming to play Batman again or whatever.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then there's rumors that Henry Cavill's going to be redoing, Superman coming back as that too. And it seemed like Ben Affleck just did not want to deal with Batman anymore, but yeah, I don't know what's happening. It'll be interesting. There's even rumors that Henry Cavill might be coming into the MCU at some point.
I heard that. Do you think that that's a good choice to bring for Superman, Henry Cavill? How did you like him as?
As Superman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah.
I liked him. I mean, I liked the Man of Steel, the first one. I wish they wouldn't have done the Batman crossover. Just erase that from this world. But
Sure.
no, I think if there's I think he'd be great in the MCU depending on what role he does. I know some were saying maybe he'd be like Reed Richards, but I don't know about that, Mr. Elastic. But I think he would be good. Almost even if he came over as like a villain or something, that would be cool. Doctor Doom.
Yeah, there you go. Um, I'd like. Okay, let me think about that. Him as Doctor. Um,
Hey, Megan.
that's a good one. I'm not how I'd feel about that. Like Captain Britain or something like that. That's what I
Yeah.
Captain Britain type. But Doctor Doom might even more. Yeah, I hope. I actually like him as Superman, and so I kind of there was a dud movie here and there, but I liked him as Superman.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think there would be a conflict if he was to go to the MCU, would there? I guess if he's Superman as well, maybe, but or still in other
Yeah, that's a
movies.
great question. I don't know. They are technically rivals, so
Yeah.
would if you're in the Marvel universe, you can't. And people who played in both universes, but their contract by the time they went from one to another, right?
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Keaton plays the Vulture and Man, right? So I guess I don't know.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay. Don't you want to move on to the next bit about the the DC universe?
Uh it was just the Batgirl stuff for that, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing
Okay.
that was in the 10-year plan.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. And then yeah, do you want to talk about Andor next?
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Okay.
It is my Brian.
Say that again. Sorry, you cut out there for me. Maybe that'll
Okay.
answer your question.
Yeah. Copy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hey, just for today, I'm gonna see. Any better
A little bit.
clarity? Okay.
No, no, actually, no.
No. Okay.
Worse, if anything. Yeah.
Let's see. Man.
Here.
Well, I'm trying to fix this. Why don't you?
Okay. Here, actually, if you wanna, do you wanna just open up that Zoom room that we usually go into? And what I'm gonna do is I'll mute you on here, and then I'll hear you through the Zoom room if that works.
Okay.
All right. Second. But yeah, I'll bring up the Andor as well. All right. Okay, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah. You hear me? Otherwise, yeah, if you just mute me on your end, you should be good, I think. Awesome. That should work.
So yeah, let's talk about Andor. So the article that you brought up talked a little bit about the series and how the showrunner or director, I can't remember which, but they mentioned that obviously there's going to be sort of like this Trumpian take on this story, which I don't care. Like that's not a big deal to me. They can tell whatever story they want to tell.
Yeah, just reading through that, it seemed like the that's kind of what the actress portrayed it as. I don't know if that really makes sense. I kind of get if that's her take on it, but yeah, it'd be very weird to bring that kind of, especially how many years after Trump, to bring that into this show, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But like even so, if maybe that's the way she, like you said, she just kind of like interprets like
Yeah.
the way the story unfolded. I guess what kind of concerns me though, it talked a little bit about sort of like
Yeah, I I see what you're saying because the director brought up how we're not going to see characters as we saw them previously, which I don't know if it's a little bit of an misdirect. That kind of sounds like to me like maybe we'll see someone who's working in the Empire who we thought was bad all this time is maybe helping out, some of the rebels or something like that. And maybe that's how they get like infiltrated. I don't know. It's very weird to do this like while we have, the what's the movie? Rogue One that already came out. So it's kind of like Obi-Wan. We have episode 4 leading up to this point, and now we have Andor that leads up to, you know. Yeah, are you muted on Restream? I think you might have muted. Okay. That might be why.
Okay, so unmute
Yeah.
myself. Is that better?
Yep. That works.
Okay. Okay. So then we're gonna get this down. Everybody. That's good. So anyway, yeah. So I'm with you there. They would. Uh, that's the thing that I'm concerned about. You know how I feel about.
Yeah.
I just like, and why I would okay with changing canon. That's the other thing. Like, I just don't have to do that. That's my thing, and it might be just a little. Still excited for it. The trailer came out. I'm really excited. I think that like it's really disappointing. They for us like, yeah, we changed things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. Well, if you're trying to set expectations ahead of time so people aren't flipping the table, maybe. But I don't know. I kind of feel like this is maybe a little bit of a misdirect just to get us riled up to talk about it. But I guess it's working. So.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet. Mr. Canon over here.
Yeah, I really just wish that they could just. They can, but like, just stay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's little things, so maybe it doesn't even matter over nothing, like you said, just to get me riled up.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I have high expectations for the show because the movie's so good, which we will be reviewing that in a couple weeks as well. But yeah, I think we just have to get used to that they're going to be changing canon. It's going to be done. Can't help it. Things ain't going to be the same, Ryan. I'm sorry, man.
The worst day of my life. That's what that means.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only news that I got. Have anything else on Andor?
No.
Worse?
I'm trying to think. No. No other news really. I just started season 4 of Rebels, so almost done with it. Almost. I'm trekking through here.
So what's the last scene?
So the last episode that I just saw was Saw just saved Sabine and Ezra from a satellite on a planet that the Empire was doing, and now they're flying off with Saw. So I think I'm on like episode 2 of season 4 right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Well, so you're liking it so.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking the series so far. I like it a lot because there's a linear timeline of stuff, unlike with Clone Wars where it was just like jumping all over the place. So
Sure.
I can follow this a lot easier. So
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I think about Rebels is it's in line with the story or whatever.
yeah.
Okay. So when do you think you're going to be done?
There's what, like 22 episodes in season 4 or something like that. So I don't know, by December. No. No, probably like the end of the month or something like that. We'll see.
Okay. Oh, okay. With it, we'll have
Well,
to talk about
I
it.
should say we've got, She-Hulk coming out and Andor, so that's going to take up time as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully by the end of the month.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. We got, we
Yeah.
have a busy schedule. You're listening for the first time. We do. Oh, tomorrow we're going to record a podcast. Incredible Hulk, the great, the good, the bad, or Tuesday, one of the 2 days. So we will be. On the MCU news on the
Yeah.
rundown.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let's
What do you want to start with
hit
first?
ups. Why don't you pick? You
Why don't I
pick.
pick? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Well, let's go back and talk about Thor: Love and Thunder. If that works.
Okay.
The
Okay. Yeah. Let's do
box
that.
office stuff with that, because yeah, it's probably the oldest news on here, but it's one of the worst drop-offs in MCU history, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I just don't back and watched it.
I
Is really
did.
what it comes down to.
Just means I don't have
That's
a
fair.
life, I guess, huh? No, I honestly, man, it's a big deal that less than 2 hour or like 2 hour you know time limit that they've had on Doctor Strange, and then this. I think like people were like, well, if it's not long, it's probably not going to be that good, because you think of shorter movies like that where you've got Venom and Carnage. Those are decent movies, but you're getting a certain kind of caliber with that. And when it comes to the MCU, if anything, they've worked it up to be longer movies where, the last Avengers movie was basically split into two parts. So I think a big portion of it is just, time wise for these rundowns. Cause I mean, Doctor Strange had also a like big dip in, people coming back to watch it a second time. Not as bad as this one, but that's where they started to see the decline, because before that you had Spider-Man, which did great, and even I think Eternals didn't have this big of a dip.
Yeah, it was the worst dip, right? That's what
Yeah.
our the worst rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes is what I
Really?
heard.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check that, but I just don't know how many people excited to go back and watch it. I know, but I just don't what most people felt. It really did. What I find interesting about a lot of these newer movies, it seems as if they're kind of like more divisive among it. Like divides the fans more. Like, everybody kind of agreed that No Way Home was a good
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
right? But all these other there's a portion of the fan base that else like dislikes it at the very. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
Yeah, it feels like they're just putting, Doctor Strange and Wanda and Thor on this back burner, and we can feel that, where it's like we don't want them to take a back seat, but they're introducing too many new characters where they have to, get you to like them, and that's what it kind of feels like to me, is just like they're, I don't know if they're messing up these, their storylines or whatever, but they're changing them drastically, and you can kind of feel that, and it's just, I think people aren't liking that as well.
I agree. Well, it kind of goes into another, which is the CGI people being overworked.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're going quantity over quality. It's really hurting the MCU right
No.
now. In choosing what and tell the story's finished before you tell the next story. A bunch of heroes. I think it's really hurting the MCU's
No, I agree with that 100%. I there, Kevin Feige just said this week, like, oh yeah, Phase 5, you'll definitely see what's going on with the future of Marvel. And it's like, okay, so we're just clean slating, Phase 4. Like this was just like do whatever we want. Let's not have a storyline or anything. This is just like, a free for all. And now, Phase 5, people are getting disinterested. So we're finally going to, start showing you like, oh yeah, there should probably be leading up to something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't that after every property, like even with one, which I think is the first, right? The first like out for Phase
Mm-hmm.
4, they're like, oh, it's gonna just wait. Uh, Kevin Feige said multiverse of mutants and Brown, that never
Yeah.
came to fruition. So it's yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But maybe maybe they'll right the ship because that is like what they see when the fans don't like responding to something they easily change. I will say that when we get into our 5 and 6,
Yeah.
some of the stuff I heard about Phase 5 and 6, I'm do this. So we'll one in particular.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move off of Thor, I guess, in the box office. We got
Yeah,
talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say we can either talk about X-Men or some of the VXX artist stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about the
Okay.
artist.
Sounds good. 1 second. Yeah, this was interesting. My wife sent me this article because it's kind of the behind scenes. And, Marvel right now uses so much CGI and VSF stuff. And especially even in like this with Wanda, like Doctor Strange was mostly just CGI and VFX stuff. So, they're just getting tired of the way that Marvel's kind of treating them and just the deadlines and the constant just rewriting things, trying to figure out a story, and then it ends up with the effects just losing in the long run. So
Yeah, and again, it talked about as far as like the called them the prioritizing content quality, and these people are getting overworked and problems within like the CGI, the effects, because they're these have to get out there that is just not realistically doable. So interesting article.
yeah, in my mind, we've got years when before these movies come out. So you're like, oh yeah, everything's just, lined up and there's a process, and then, it just comes out and they've done the best they can with everything. And then we get this, wonderful finished project when that is not the case. It seems like everything's kind of down to the last minute. And even at the last minute, there's reshoots, there's rework on everything. Another thing is just even regarding what we just talked about with Thor and dropping off in the box office. That runtime that's less than 2 hours or just around the 2 hour mark. It feels like they're trying to cut costs somehow by doing that, and you can definitely feel that. And it's the same thing with this. It's like when you start cutting costs with stuff. I mean, this is a huge giant machine, and if you just put the money into it, you will get the money back. Especially like I feel like if Thor had another half an hour to develop the storyline and we could actually see, Gore in there, if we could actually see Gore in there, it would be worth it, to have that extra money put into there. But yeah.
I agree. I agree. I'm gonna force all this stuff
Yeah.
out. Again, it's just not satisfying the fan base
Yeah.
at all. Some people are just like, just enjoy it. It's like, well, no, there should be a certain product that they're putting out. So I don't sort of logic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess you're cutting in and out is what they're saying?
Yeah, yeah. Megan's saying that
Okay.
my audio.
So it's not just
Cutting
me.
out.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Um.
Well, yeah, let's do you just want to end it or go over to the Zoom?
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll stop the stream, end it, and jump back into just do it the normal way, and we'll try to
All
get
right.
this way
Yeah.
figured.
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, we will be
Okay,
back.
we'll be back.